DreAllDay.com.
Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. The topic here is easiest way to get help from other people. Now, before I get into this, let me tell you all that I have a text message line where I want you to text me. And you can either ask me a question about this video, tell me the best thing you got from the video, or you can just text and say hi, because once you text me, you'll be in my texting community. You'll get my daily motivation text, which goes out every day. My number is 305-384-6894. It's also down below in the description. Now, the topic of this video is the easiest way to get help from other people. Here's the short answer, then I'm going to explain the answer. Short answer is this: start building some momentum for yourself. Easiest way to get help from other people is to help yourself first. That's the easiest way to get help. Now, why is this? How is this? How does that even make sense? The reason why I even came on this idea is because I get asked often by, especially coming from the sports world, I get asked a lot of times by athletes, Dre, can somebody help me out? Can somebody help invest in my career? I'm trying to play overseas. I'm trying to play in college. I'm trying to get on a team. Nobody has noticed me. I'm trying to get an agent. I get these questions all the time from basketball players, even though I'm not actively even talking about basketball that much anymore. I still get these questions all the time from athletes. So I'm sure other people who are active in that world get these questions. And the thing is this: in any area of life, it doesn't have to be basketball, it can be any area of business, relationships, personal, spiritual, financial, anything. The easiest way to get somebody to help you is for you to demonstrate that you are already helping yourself. And why is this? The reason for this is, number one, nobody ever chases behind a parked vehicle. You ever see somebody chasing a parked car? No, it's impossible, because the very definition of chasing something means there has to be some movement going on. So if you're not moving, nobody has to chase after you. All right, nobody has to go looking for you if you're still standing in the same spot. Or at least they can't chase after you. I mean, if they know where you are and they found you, you're right there. Nobody's going to want to get involved with someone who doesn't have anything going on. You don't have any momentum for yourself. Why would anyone want to cast their lot to that? Why would anyone want to invest their resources in that, being that you're not doing anything for yourself? So if they start helping you, then you're going to do even more of nothing. I mean, all of you took algebra in school. What happens when you multiply by zero? You're going to get zero. You take the zero, which is you doing nothing, and you add 100 to it, which is somebody who can do everything for you, but you're still at a zero. Then why would they ever help you out? Now, you might be protesting and thinking, well, if somebody will help me out, then I would start doing stuff. Well, here's the thing: what if nobody helps you out? What if you never get that help that you've been asking for? What if you never get the help that you think is the only thing that's necessary for you to be successful? Nobody ever helps you out. What are you going to do? Is your answer you're going to do nothing? Are you just going to die, and on your tombstone people can write, oh, they would have did something, but nobody ever helped them out? What are you going to do for yourself? The easiest way, I'm going to say it again, to get people to help you is to help yourself first. And the reason for this is, another reason, is when you show that you're already helping yourself, other people will want to be involved with you because they see that you already have some momentum. They see that you're already moving forward. They see this person has already done something for herself or himself. So if I get them a little bit of a push, I put a little bit of my resources into this individual, they're going to go even further and do it even better. But the reason why a person would be willing to do that, and they would even think that, is because they see what direction you're already going in. They see the direction you're already moving in. They're like, all right, this person already understands. They're already doing the things necessary. So let me get them a little push, and they'll get there even faster. But if you're doing nothing, nobody's going to see that potential in you. Nobody's going to see you as somebody who might become somebody, because you're not doing anything right now. So the easiest way, again, is to start on your own. Build some momentum on your own. I'll give you an example. When I was getting out of basketball and I wanted to get into this whole world of thought leadership, I didn't even know what it was. I didn't even know what it was called at that time. And I ran into somebody who knew somebody, and they connected me to a person who became one of my mentors. And this woman, she was already in the thought leadership world. She's a professional speaker. She's doing all kinds of stuff. Speaking, coaching, writing books, putting her stuff out there, getting hired to do keynotes and all this stuff. So she was doing a lot of the stuff that I would eventually do, that I do now, but I wanted to do, but I didn't know anything about that world at the time. And I remember I called this woman. I basically cold called her because somebody gave me her number, and they mentioned my name, but they didn't tell her anything about me. So she had an idea that I might call, but she didn't have any information. So I called this woman, and she said, I guess she was at her computer when I called her, and she was like, well, look. I said, no, I'm Dre, the such and such mentioned my name. She said, yeah, he mentioned your name, but she didn't know nothing about me. And I'm like, yeah, well, I want to get into the speaking world or something like that, but I didn't know anything. She said, well, you have a website. And I said, yeah. And I gave her my website, DreAllDay.com. She looked it up right there. I guess she was on the computer when I was talking to her. She looked up my website, and she got quiet for a second. And then she was like, okay. I could tell she was looking at it. She was looking through what I had. Now, at this time, I had a website. I had all these videos out. She was like, do you have are you on any social media? I'm like, yeah, I'm on whatever was out at the time. YouTube, Instagram, whatever was going on. She started looking at my YouTube. And I had all these videos on YouTube. I got 1,000 videos on YouTube. So she's looking at that. And she's like, all right. And I could tell, like, she started talking a little bit slower because I could see she's looking at it. She's thinking. And she took a liking to me just based off of that 30-second part of the conversation. Not because I was some superstar, but because she saw I already had created momentum for myself. She said, all right, you already got a website. I already had some books at that time. I think I had 4 books out at that time. So I had 4 books. I had a website. I had a YouTube channel. I had a presence on the internet. I had a career in sports. So I already had all these things going on. So when she saw me, I didn't have nothing going on in what she was doing though. All right. So all the stuff I was doing, she never did. And all the stuff she was doing, I never did. So when she was looking at my stuff, she even said to me, she was like, look, if you can give me some tips and some pointers on how you do your YouTube stuff and how you do your stuff on social media, like building your brand and get your name out there. Because even though she was well known in the thought leadership world, she wasn't really on social media hardly at all. Like you couldn't find her on social media, but she was known in these other worlds that I was trying to get into. So basically, we could help each other. And she said, look, you can help me out with this stuff and I'll give you all the information you need for this stuff that you need. And that's why she was willing to help me out. Not because, again, she didn't know who I was. I didn't know who she was, but I already had some momentum going. And this is the way that it works in life. And I just got this email this morning, as a matter of fact, from some kid who I do not know. And he's a basketball player, and he wrote me a pretty long email. And he's explaining to me that he needs somebody to help him out, somebody to invest in his career so he can become a basketball player and work hard and everybody. And I have the desire and determination, and I'm going to make it in basketball. Nobody's going to outwork me. They just need somebody to help them out, somebody to do something for them. And I haven't even formulated what I'm going to say back to this kid. I am going to write him back. But the short answer is no. I'm not going to invest in you until you have already made some investments in yourself. You got to help yourself first before anybody else is going to be willing to help you. So this is why it's so important for all of you. And I've talked about this on my podcast. I talked about it in my books. Is you got to become a fire starter. You know what a fire starter is? A fire starter is a person who can create momentum and make something happen even when nothing's happening. You can basically create some substance out of nothing at all. That is a fire starter. And that's a pretty good definition of entrepreneurs. We take an idea that's in our head and we make it into something new. And this is something that I've talked about for years, is that eventually every single one of us is going to be an entrepreneur. All right, even if you have a job, you still need to be an entrepreneur, because there are times in your life when you're going to need to create something out of nothing. And when you create something out of nothing, now you have some substance. You have something that actually exists. You have some actual momentum. You know what's going to happen? Now people are going to start looking at you. Now people are going to be willing to follow you. Now people will be willing to work with you. People will be willing to help you. Why? And people will want you to work with them. They want to be associated with you. Why? Because you're doing something. You have something going on. You have momentum. You are moving forward. You are making progress. You look like somebody who's on their way to something. But if you're doing nothing, people can't see any of that in you. Even though you might have the potential, you got to show the potential. All right? Understand, in life, everybody's heard the saying, actions speak louder than words, right? Everybody's heard that. Everybody says it. Excuse me. We all agree that what a person says doesn't mean nearly as much as what a person does, right? We all agree to that, right? So look at yourself. Are you talking about what you're going to do, or are you proving what you're going to do? Even if you can't do it all by yourself right now, you probably can't. Are you doing some of it? Are you taking the actions that you can take right now, given your current resources, your current knowledge, and your current opportunities and your current abilities? Are you doing anything with what you have on your hands right now? Are you working with what you've got? And if you don't have much, are you working with that not much? Or are you making excuses, waiting for a fairy godmother to come and save you? Because I want to give you a hint, that ain't happening. And even if somebody could save you, they're probably not going to, because you're not saving yourself. Why would they want to save you? Why would somebody want to jump on a boat that's already sinking? All right, your boat is sinking. Why would someone want to jump on that and try to help you? All you're going to do is pull them down. Now both of y'all are going to drown. Might as well only be one death instead of two. This is just the harsh reality of how it works, folks. So all this being said, listen, I wrote a book called The Third Day, The Decision That Separates the Pros from the Amateurs. If you want to know how to move yourself to action, even when you don't feel like it, even when you're not feeling it, even when things are not working in your favor, this is the book that you need to read. I'll give you a free copy of this book, paperback version. All you need to do is cover the shipping and help me out. I'm paying for the book. You pay for the shipping. Go to thirddaybook.com. Link is down below. And as I told you earlier, Send me a text to get my daily motivation text, which I send out every day. My number is 305-384-6894. 305-384-6894. Work on your game. Dre all day.